tough and wanna hate this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sasquatch Shills, where all the technical issues are just taking over the world. So this is what it looked like right now. I'm not gonna lie to you, it hadn't been great, but we'll get to that in a little bit. For the moment, I have a guest, and he came in, showed up on time. He's reliable as the rain, I suppose. We're gonna bring him in. This is the Rustic Caveman. Hey, I think he's in there. We're gonna go back and check. Hey, how you doing? What's going on?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
All right. So, tell me this one. What exactly possessed you to decide to start uploading to YouTube? So you're sitting around, you're chilling with your beard, and for some reason you just decided to upload a video. What was that reason?
Oh, it seemed like a fun thing to do at the time.
Okay, I'll buy that. A lot of people
And
get started that way.
it's been almost 3 years now.
Yeah, I noticed. I've been going back through some of your earlier stuff, and it's kind of what you would expect from a general preparedness, homesteading, lifestyle slash doing whatever people do on a daily basis type vlog. I mean, it's got breadth and character. I can give you that much. And you have a wonderful group of people in there. They're phenomenal. But let me see if I can figure out how to put you on the big screen for a second, and we can try to see. Does this work? Is this how it works? No, that's not it. I bet it's over here. No, maybe one of those. Nope. Welcome to Sasquatch Hills, folks. We're professionals. If you can't tell, just wait. We'll tell you about it. Let's see. There's got to be a way to go about doing the layout. Hey, layout. There we go. Where it, but okay, we got solo, and then I do this, and then I do that, and then I give it to you like that. Bam. Oh, I'm a professional. Look at me. All right, so here's what I want. I'd like for you to look at the camera and tell everybody what you think your channel's about.
My channel's about a little bit of everything. I'm an old country boy. Went up to a different state for 3 or 4, 30 years, 20 years, and came back home. So this is basically somewhat the journey of me coming back home and starting all over again. I had a
That's cool.
I had a general store up until a couple of months ago. Ended up having to close that, and just playing for the next challenges. See what happens next. I've got a new full-time contract job for programming. I'm a Microsoft programmer, SQL developer, that type of thing, and take it as it comes.
All right, man. So the reason I got into YouTube was because I saw a bunch of people doing things that I felt like if they had just a little tip here and there, they could do really good channels. You know, there's this one guy over here has excellent editing. The sound might need some work. Another guy over there has excellent sound, but his slideshow isn't so great. So I tried to pull together as many people as possible from as many disciplines as possible by hosting them just like this on the channel. And including them in the talent pool, so to speak. So I don't know what kind of coding you're into, but if that becomes an issue, I'll give you a call. I don't code. I can weld or dig or do most anything else, but coding is not in my wheelhouse at all.
Well, I'm
you
no
got an
country boy,
awful lot of, I guess you'd call it sort of homey farm type stuff going on over there. Is there a particular part of it that's more important than the rest of it to you?
No, it's all kind of all together, jumbled together. The chickens are the highlight right now because that's what I'm dealing with.
Can I give you a tip for chickens? Name
Yeah.
your chickens after big time YouTubers, right? Name your chickens after big time YouTubers, and the clickbait will write themselves.
I'll think about it because right now I'm more.
Yeah. That's what everybody say. Then they wonder about the lawsuits.
I'm not too worried about that. Anyway, just getting the sawmill up and running, and then getting the farm cleared out again. It's sat fallow for 20 years, and I'm working to get it cleaned up, but it's one step at a time, little by little.
So what's your preferred method to clear a particular pasture or field? I know it's different depending on whether it's going to be a pasture or a field, but is there do you prefer long term or short term method? I mean, will you go in there with a straight blade and rip it flat, or do you bring in goats and let them chew it down?
The goats are coming next, but right now I'm just
I hear you.
blasting down what I can.
That's right. All right. But you got to get done what you can get done. I mean, only so many hours in a day.
Yep.
So, would you consider your channel more lifestyle blog type or how-to type? Because there's a little bit of how-to to it. You show people different things and like how this works with that, but it's not the grand scheme of how to build a fence, but how this piece goes into that piece.
Yeah. I would say definitely more, excuse me, definitely more lifestyle. There's always going to be some how-to in there. And if you're dependent on me to show you the right way of doing things, probably not a smart
Might be
idea.
the wrong channel.
Yeah.
Okay, but
I'm going to redneck it as far as I need to redneck it. And when I'm done, it'll work.
yeah, no, that's about the only thing I can promise you is when I get finished, it'll work and I'll do it. Whatever I need to do to make that end come to pass. However weird it might look when it's done, it will get from A to B. It'll do the job it needs to do, even if it ain't pretty.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of people up in here. Let me see if I can go back in the comments. We'll say hey to some folks.
Yeah. I'm not
How
saying
far back will
anything.
this go? I think if you bring up, since we don't have any videos, it should be fine. You can bring up your comments on your phone. You won't be able to see yourself or me, but I don't have my laptop, so I can't show videos and stuff.
Okay.
So that's where we're at. You can just read the comments there. I'm using two separate phones, and I'm trying to go back far enough. I believe Judd may well have gotten the gold. Russell Sperry got the silver, and Two Live Moo got the bronze. Welcome to the show, folks. MVTV, good to see you, bud. We got American Justice of Texas. That's AJOT from AJOT's Corner. Always. April Rain is in the house. We got Logical Spot. We have Brandy, and I'm wondering if that's one I know, or if that's just some random person out in the universe. You never know. Brian and Chewy Go Hiking is in here. We have Cammed Up Caveman in the house. Good to see you, bud. Let's see. Work Lions come in. Lion one as well. That's good to see. Good to see both of y'all, really. I appreciate it, Brandy. I'm not going to be putting a whole lot up on screen or messing around with any media. I'm sure there's a way to go about doing it, right? But I am not that up to date on phone magic, right? So I'm not going to try to do too much phone magic. I'm going to stick with what I know, which is the social part of media, I suppose, right? Okay, so you got a real neat tractor over there. What is that thing? The little front end loader bucket doohickey?
Oh, it's a Yanmar 3200, 32 horse tractor. I bought it when I lived up in Michigan. I had a half-acre lot, and the house took up most of that. But I knew I was coming home, and I knew when I came home I was going to need something to get the work done. So I figure if I buy it now, get it paid off, then when the time comes, it'll be easier to run and cheaper.
Absolutely brilliant. A Yanmar?
Yanmar, yep.
Yeah, I've
It's
never heard of such a thing.
It's basically the same thing as a John Deere, just painted a little bit different.
It's just different color, huh? That's cool.
Yep.
I like that.
Several thousand less.
How many acres did you pick up where you moved out there?
My parents have
Ballpark. I'm not asking specifics.
Yeah, my parents have 107. I'll inherit that at some point, and I've got 7 adjacent to it.
Cool. Well, shoot, that little tractor might not be enough for you, man. You might need to get something a little bigger later on.
It's becoming very obvious that I may have to get something bigger.
Yes, sir. See, I come from a little bit of a farming area myself, but I lived in a swamp. We didn't do a whole lot of above water farming. Most of our crops would swim around pretty good. They was like pigs and stuff. If they couldn't swim, they wouldn't make it big. So not so much cows, but more of porcine pigs. But we had a little plot, well, half an acre or so, and one of the issues I always had with it, we're in heavy clay country, right? You can't water it. I mean, you can, but it doesn't work. It just washes off. And so you end up with this endless cycle of trying to drip feed into basically what's a red brick mat. And it doesn't work. How bad is the dirt around there? Or is it excellent or good? Or what is it? What are we dealing with here? Rocks? You got rocks, don't you?
We got some rock, but it's actually pretty good. I mean, it's had a lot of decomposition over the years. I mean, you get down a couple, 3 inches, you start getting into some clay, get in deeper, you get into some gravel. You get deep enough, you'll find some base rock, but for the most part, it's not that bad. It's growable. It does compact quick, and a lot of water will flow off of it like a duck's back, but it'll grow.
That's just working it. You get about 2-3 years of plowing it. That'll straighten itself out to a degree.
Yeah. Get enough organic matter in there.
Yeah. Are you planning? You said you were planning on getting some goats.
Yeah.
On your
probably.
7 acres, that would be about what, 8 goats? 9 goats or so?
I'll probably go with 5, and I'll start them off in small little pastures. And as they clean off the pasture, then I'll get the rest of the stuff they didn't get off of it and get them in a different spot. And I'll just bring the place back together, section by section, 5 acres here, 7 acres there.
There you go.
Till we're done.
You know how to eat an elephant?
Yeah.
One bite at a time. One bite at a time, eat the whole thing. That's exactly how you accomplish a task like that, brother. All right, so you're going to keep doing your would you consider it homesteading? I'm not quite considering it homesteading. It seems like there's already homesteaded there.
Yeah, I've been calling it farmsteading because farm was in existence already. I'm just bringing it back from what it used to be.
That makes sense. That makes way too much sense. I'm a little frazzled, kind of fried. I don't have my Red Bull, which is one problem. I gotta get on to Lorenzo. He hasn't been doing his job. That's my imaginary assistant that doesn't exist. I just blame him for everything. He worked for Hunter Biden for a while. All right, so one little ship at a time, starting with goats. Is there a pond out there? Have you got any water sources nearby?
Yep, we got a pond. We got a pond. The dike is starting to leak a little bit. So I think our game plan at this point is to go ahead and let that thing drain out, and then we'll reline it and redig it out because it's got 8 feet of silt from coming down off the hills for the last 4 years.
Oh yeah.
So
how long has it been there?
It's mom and dad put it in when they bought the property. So that was probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 55 years ago, 56 years ago.
So we're dealing with, call it 40 years of rain.
Yep.
Still in deposition. Tell you what you need to do with that stuff, dude. You dig that out and put it at the top of your fields.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is
just let it kind of dribble in slowly. Because the problem with trying to add that stuff like amendments is you end up with globs of it here and there, and it won't soak in and break up right. It'll take you years to break down. But you can put it at the top of each row, just run a little bit of a hill down the row. And then when you plow it in, it's all at the top. And when it rains, it runs down a little bit. It kind of does everything all at once. Yeah,
well, everywhere I go has got hills, so that's not a problem.
There you go. It's got a type of land where you can bake half an apple pie. That's good stuff. I like that. Oh, hey, Smoking Auger. Welcome to the show, bud. Blackout Pain. Good to see you. Who else did I miss? I know I saw somebody else. And then Dr. Nady. Good to see you, bud. Michael Haywood. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? I feel like there was one other, and I'm just not seeing it. Um, have you considered pigs? You have a pond. You know, pigs have an amazing thing they do when it comes to ponds.
Oh, yeah. They do a good job of it. We had a swamp for many years. Pigs did a pretty good job drying out most of that and getting it usable again.
Oh yeah, they'll root out if you've got a spot that's holding water and you don't want it to hold water. There's some pigs loose over in there. They'll root the water out of the way so they can get to the bugs in the mud.
Yep.
They'll just make a little groove right on out of here.
Yeah,
And they'll go away.
they dried the bulk of that swamp up pretty quick and dug out the creek to the point that it was flowing real well.
That's cool.
It's in the plan, but it's going to have to be a couple more years down the road.
I dig it. I would have started with pigs myself, but then again, I have more experience with pigs, you know, because I've never tried to train a goat, but I once had a batch of pigs trained to come to a bell ringing, so they'd come get food. But otherwise, I just turned them loose out there in the swamp, just going out of here.
All we had to do with our pigs was to slap the side of the feeder, and here they come.
Yep. Well, I went and made me a like a big triangle, like a dinner bell. I mean, we were out there on like 200 acres of swamp that nobody can claim because it's had navigable waterways. It's big, dude. It's huge out there. And so fences really don't have a whole lot of meaning out there. They don't last long, and once they're down, nobody respected them in the first place. So we just kind of turned them loose. We kept them as piglets real close by in a little mobile pen. And then we put them in the brood pen till they got big enough to start fighting a little bit. And then we just take down the fence and turn them loose. But by then they were trained to come to the bell to come eat. And so we count them up every day, just walk out there and blang, 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 blang. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, they're out here. And what are you going to do to a 70-pound pig in the middle of the swamp? Got a big old orange tag on his ear.
Yeah, pigs are also pretty good about once they get their territory down, sticking to it.
Especially if you keep them in family groups. You know, if you're breeding pigs, you know, trying to roll over your stock to the next year, trading out sows and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
They do real good if you can keep the main sow's interest. So we would like have one particular piglet that would be more interested in the food bell than all the rest. We trade away or slaughter or whatever all the rest of them and keep that one female pig that was completely fixated by that bell. Then when she had piglets, she would teach all her piglets to come to the bell.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have to. She'd do that. And if they didn't, she'd go root them around in the mud until they came up here to the bell where they're supposed to be. And then you get a goose, and the goose will do that too. Geese are mean, dude.
Oh, yeah. We had them growing up. We had just about everything growing up. When I left for the Navy when I was 19, the farm had pretty much every animal on it that you really needed. Chickens, goats, rabbits, pigs, ducks, cows, had some geese. And it was pretty much everything that you could possibly want on the farm. We had it. It's just after I left to go to the military, things kind of, just kind of died down after a while.
That happened in a lot of places, in a lot of rural locations. Because when people came back from the military, they didn't go back to the farm. They went to some city somewhere, suburb somewhere to go live and do coding or work at a factory or, I mean, nothing against all of that. Just that's what happened. That's why small towns are dying. That's the way it happened.
Yeah, my first job after the Navy was teaching. I taught juniors and seniors in high school. It took me a little bit less than 2 years to figure out that was something I really did not want to do. So after that, I switched to computers. didn't have to deal with as many little problems.
There you go. Just more headspace errors. That's all.
Yep.
All right. So where would you like your channel to go? If you woke up tomorrow and had 1 million subscribers and was suddenly monetized, where would you go with it?
I think I'd buy a bigger tractor.
That would be a damn good start, in my opinion.
That probably would be what it is, because I don't really intend on doing anything different. Yeah, I'm a simple old country boy, and I'm wanting to get back to my roots. Once this programming job is, I've done it, I've retired. It's going to be nice to be able to sit back on the farmstead and have pretty much everything set up that I can just manage it out and keep it going. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of
Goat's eyes
years.
freak me out. They stare into your soul. Undehydrated. That's because their eyes are like what, squares or something? They're like diamond shaped or some crap. Hourglass shaped. What is it?
They got a little
Freak.
slit, almost like a cat.
I got a goat story. You want to hear a goat story?
Sure.
All right. So when I was growing up, I dated this chick named Monica. Her uncle had a goat and a 1969 Chevelle. And he was rebuilding the 1969 Chevelle one afternoon when a buddy of his showed up with some moonshine and got him off for Snickers. The goat got loose and ate all of the engine bolts from the Chevelle. So the first time I go visit her, I walk into her house to the most heinous smell you could possibly imagine. And a goat sitting in the bathroom, chained up in the bathtub.
Yeah.
So the name of this town, I'm not joking. This is not an exaggeration and not a joke. This is God's honest truth. The name of the town this girl lived in was Goat Town. And it is a non-existent dead town that died back in like the 40s and 50s. Like it stopped having an address back then, but there's still a store. So I guess it's still a place.
When I was a kid, I had to go put a hunter's orange vest on our big male goat every year, and that vest lasted almost through the first day, the opening day.
Is that all?
Yep, and then you would see little hunter's orange pieces of fuzz and everything else kind of scattered all over the pasture.
Everywhere, like all over the place.
But I had to put a vest on that damn goat every year. I really don't like.
MVTV says had a neighbor with a goat that ran around up in the hills above Sacramento, I suppose, and would just pop out of the brush and walk with you. Almost gave me a heart attack twice. I can imagine, man. Listen, my mama was one of the strangest women I have ever met. And when I was very young, we had a particular mess of piglets that took place that were just deformed, but they were all bad. And only one of them lived. And she decided to keep this one piglet. And it decided at a very early age that it wasn't a pig, it was actually a dog. And we named this pig Bertha and raised it with our beagles and bulldogs that we were raising and training. And she learned to track and everything that a dog would do. And can you imagine the look on people's faces when you showed up to? Can you imagine the look on people's faces when you show up to a hunt to hunt pigs and you break out 5 dogs and a 200-pound sow? And they just look around like they can't be serious. And no, she couldn't bark, but she could oink pretty good. Made her a big old it wasn't Kevlar. I don't remember what they made them out of, like nylon or whatever back then. It was the late 80s, like a dog attack arm type suit. And it was just basically a barrel wrap. You just wrapped it around her. Bright orange. Don't shoot the orange pig. You shoot any other pig you see, don't shoot the orange pig. The orange pig is my pig, don't shoot it. She was terrible for a baying hound. Chase cars, that's what got her killed. She totaled a Kia. Like we had somebody knock on the door one day and be like, "I think I hit your pig." We go out there, she's dead in the middle of the road. The Kia is just folded. That Kia had been running 60, 70 on a 45-mile-an-hour road. So it was just whole front end was stove in by that pig. Morbid humor, I suppose. I don't know. Farmers, you got to find humor where you find it. All right. Yeah, no, Judd is a mod god. You have no idea how powerful Judd really is. Uh, don't piss him off would be my advice because your link may never appear on YouTube again. It's just a bit of advice from old Sasquatch you might know.
Well, I see
So
he's posting channels on here quite a bit.
oh yeah, no, he is an absolute godsend when it comes to these types of shows. A lot of the reason I get as much traffic as I do is because people come in to see who's in, click the link at the top, hit the like button, and then leave. I might get 30 seconds out of each one that comes through, but I might have 150 people come through, never get above 7 people actually in at any given time. But it depends on how long it goes and how interesting the show is, how interesting the guest is, whether or not there's an after dark, that kind of stuff. And what the after dark turns into. Because I usually get about 3 times more views on my after darks than I do on my actual shows. But the shows get a double play because they're filmed live and then edited and uploaded as an individual episode with all of your links and all of your information, your description, any contact info you want in there, all be put in the description. So that's the idea behind it anyway. Obviously, that's not working great tonight, but you've got at least all of the description information in the video, and we'll go with that. Maybe we'll give you a real show here in a few days. But you know, when you have a death in the family, you just kind of got to drop everything you're doing and deal with it. Just go do it, go do that thing, and pick up the pieces where they may be at the other end of it. You know?
Oh yeah.
Or am I wrong?
Yeah, family comes first, no matter what.
Yeah, you got to have a foundation for your morals to stand on, and that's usually the basis for most people. Not everybody. I know a few people who just don't have any morals.
Yeah, I've met a few of them too.
Well, how what I never understood, and you know these people I'm talking about that just constantly do wrong, mess up, lose out, just perpetual losers, but they get along in life just fine, just as happy as you and me. How?
Some people are just wired that way. Yeah, I've got a buddy of mine in the tech world that new technology could be out 3 days, and this guy can talk about it, and it's just absolutely incredible. You know, the rest of us take 6 months to figure out what it's all about. He's just one of those that just picks it up right away. And then I've got another buddy of mine that is in the business that he can't talk about anything, but he can build anything you need to build.
That's handy. I don't necessarily care if you can explain it or not. If you can just do it for me, that would be worth paying somebody to just do it for me. You know what I mean? Sometimes, like for instance, if I'm going to build if I want to go overlanding camping, I'm going to build a camper to go do that because I have certain things I wanted to be able to do. However, if I'm just going out for a weekend with some folks that are also going out there and I want a camper, I'm going to rent one and take something somebody's already built. It's just much easier that way.
Yeah.
You got to put your finances where they're most effective.
Get the most out of it.
$1,000 to build something, but to actually purchase one is going to be $3,000. That might be worth the effort, but it has to be worth the time you spent doing it, planning it, and setting it up as well. That makes sense? I don't know. I might be talking gibberish. I've been up for a few days.
Yeah, makes sense. It's got the bang for the buck has to be worth it, and it's different for every different person.
Right. So I saw a thing on a poll earlier, and they were asking, If somebody borrows money from you and doesn't pay you back, and then wants to borrow money from you again, will you let them borrow it?
Yeah,
Depends.
it's 50-50.
Right. Depends on the circumstances for sure.
Yeah.
I have a philosophy on that. And yet again, before I say this, and y'all think I'm just a cold hearted bastard, it depends. But if you show up and you borrow $5 from me, you're like, I'll pay you back tomorrow. I'm like, cool. And you don't pay me back tomorrow and you don't talk about it and you don't bring it up, the way I see it is I just spent $5 and never have you bother me for money again. And that's a good investment. You
Yep.
can just give up that $5, $10, $50, whatever it was, and you know they will never, ever, ever ask you for money again. That's a good investment.
Yep. Absolutely.
Not a total loss at the very least. Oh no. Down to 18%, bud. Um, I'm not sure what's gonna happen when this phone gets to 15%. It goes into like super critical save your battery mode, and I'm curious. Hmm? It's plugged in. It's already plugged in. I've got everything. I was prepared. I got that far. It's there. It's done. It's doing the thing. I can try this. This might work. Let's see.
Well, I'm on my phone too, and I'm at 80%, and I think when I plugged it in, I was at 70%. So I've gained a little bit in the last half
There
hour or
you
so.
go, girl. That is way better than my piece of trash. This fucking thing. Dude, oh, don't get me started. The whole time we're in Savannah over there, for some stupid reason, my phone will not job with that Wi-Fi. I couldn't upload anything for crap. It would take me an hour and a half to get a short to go through. I mean, even if I just filmed something on the floor and was like, "Oh, look," and there was nothing else with it, just upload that in fucking hour. An hour, dude. Less than a minute for an hour. And I can't do much of anything else on my phone while that's going down because it gets all reflected and it'll stop sending it. Tell me it failed.
Yep.
I don't know. I get a little perturbed with my phone quite often. It is a piece of absolute garbage. I don't like it. What kind of phone you
And
got?
we're so far back in the woods that if I can even upload, I'm happy. It may take
No, I'll
for
buy that.
for one of my feature films, feature ones, talking 20 minutes, it could be sitting there for 2.5 hours.
Oh, sure, sure. But keep in mind, I'm in one of the largest cities on the East Coast. It shouldn't be that way, man. I
No,
had three different Wi-Fi routers in the house, and I can't figure out what the problem is. Over here, this one Wi-Fi, it's fine, no problem. We're sitting right here talking Peyton, it's no problem. But over there, man, I don't know what in the world's going on with that place. It is wacky. And me and my wife sitting side by side. She would have a signal for like 3 minutes, and then it would kick her off, and I would have signal for like 3 minutes, and it'd kick me off. Back and forth. It's just ridiculous. An absolute nightmare.
yeah, it drive me
Hello,
insane.
Mr. Self-Destruction. Welcome to the show, bud. Right, that's a good philosophy to have. Just, I mean, there's no need to just give money away that to into a black hole. Now, if it's an investment, that's different. You can invest in people. That is the thing that is worthwhile under the right circumstances, right? You can invest in goodwill. That's not necessarily a bad thing either. So there's that. Um, but for the most part, if we're talking about the actual loaning of money, no, you get one shot. Don't screw it up.
Well, if somebody talks about it often enough, and I know that their intent is good, I'd be more inclined to give them a little bit more leeway.
I mean,
Um,
yeah, you got some folks that are just daft as hell and they forget stuff. You can't judge somebody for just being forgetful as hell because it'd be like that sometimes.
yep,
But you got somebody who certainly has enough money for all their drugs and alcohol, but can't come up with the $8 to pay you back. That's gonna leave a little bit of a little sting on my soul somewhere. might bother me a little bit.
No, your philosophy is just making it so they don't bug you, bug you
Right,
again.
that's exactly it.
That's not a bad philosophy at all.
That's exactly how I'm paying for my own peace of mind. That's what it comes down to. So I got to ask you this one. This has been bugging me since I found your channel. Why the rustic caveman?
Well, it used to be called the Fat Guy in the Woods. That was the original.
Okay.
That was the original title, because a lot of the videos I was hoping to do was going to be a bunch of wood videos. You know, you're back in there doing chainsaw work, cleaning up trails, whatever. And you know, I'm a big guy. It's as simple as that. And so I figured the channel name should stand out, and I chose Fat Guy in the Woods. And after a while, the wife kind of mentioned that probably should be something a little bit different. So the next thought was, the next thought after probably a year. I mean, I had to use that name for probably a year, maybe a little more. We just started trying to find something that was different.
Different, something that's not in the search algorithm yet, so that you're the search result.
Yeah, so
Brilliant.
that's what I came up with. I like the rustic stuff, and you know, I kind of look like a caveman, so we'll go with it.
Hey, non-mouse, welcome to the show, bud. Airborne Audits, good to see you. That's one of our UK brethren over there, previous guest. So I really dig the name. That's awesome. There's only one of you, and that's fantastic. There's like rustic caveman art, and there's rustic caveman other things, but you are the rustic caveman. That works. As an
Yep.
excellent bit of PR, I suppose.
And now that YouTube gave me my handle, it's my handle too, so that works.
Yep. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Have I already chosen my handle since I branded or whatever?
Yeah, you probably have. You probably did a long time ago.
Okay, I probably just don't even remember it because I didn't know what I was doing. That makes sense.
Yeah, if you already had it, then you kept it. People like me I just hit 100 when they started talking about that, and they blocked us from being able to choose a handle at that point. So I was real happy when I got my email saying I could choose my handle, but they already had it listed as Rustic Caveman anyway. So I'm like, yep, I'll take it.
I'll take it. That works perfect. I just went with my name. I did everything. I just started a Google account and established everything Caucasian Sasquatch off of that Google account, so I can kill him with the stroke of a single keystroke. Might return as a god, leave as a legend.
I got a few things. I got the Facebook, got that set up for Rustic Caveman. The problem with Facebook is it doesn't do any notifications. Got something set up wrong there.
Yeah.
I do have the Instagram, and I saw Judd toss the Instagram in there. Thank you very much. I don't do much with it. I just haven't. I did when I first set it up. Since then, I just haven't done a whole lot. When I had the store, I used Instagram a little bit more for the store, but for Rustic Caveman, not a whole lot yet. I will, but it'll be a little while.
Yeah, I set everything up I could think of. I've got like a Twitter and a Discord. And I gave NC Tyrant Hunter my Discord, and he shared it with somebody. And next thing I know, there was like 800 people in there having a conversation about beer. It kind of blew up kind of weird, and then went away kind of weird. And now I just don't know what to do with it at all.
Yeah,
I got a Facebook, but it's attached to my real name, and I don't know. Find it if you want to. You know it.
Yep, I know it. Well, I decided.
So what are you gonna do? That's modern media.
Yeah, I decided I'd try to brand everything that I could and take it from there.
Yeah, that's basically what it takes. And excuse me. I hate to tell everybody it's going to be a kind of short show today. I'm just going to do the Sasquatch Shills portion of the show. As after dark fodder, I haven't figured out how to put this link in the chat yet. So I have no idea how that's going to work. And I don't have anything at all that I can show people except for like my little intro again. I think I got that and a different countdown that's totally terrible. I've never used it, but I'm not going to show it because it's trash. Why show trash? There's no point in that, right? I'm actually surprised all of this is still set up over here. I set all this crap up over here for a show like 3 months ago and managed to fix my OBS before the show happened. So I just used my OBS and didn't mess with it. And I got some other things over here I can do. Let's see. Like these things. This thing. Get some scribbled. Y'all got to subscribble. Go subscribe to the Rustic Caveman. And you can like smash the like button like side chick. That's what you should do.
I still got to learn how to use all these live stream tools. I got one of them, Streamlabs or something like that.
Right. I use
have
StreamYard.
I don't
Hands
have enough
down,
room.
StreamYards is the absolute easiest to manipulate. But I also use OBS to manage media, so I don't have the StreamYard problems that most people that have problems with StreamYards have. I do that on board my laptop, but I don't have my laptop, so you get a crappy show. I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm happy with it.
We're going to do this. Barely read that. How about this? Yay! High yield mediocre and aggressively average. See, we're not trying to be controversial. We want to be controversial adjacent. Sasquatch Shills, so you don't have to get some scribble. All right, I'm done with that. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'll stop now. Got Toe for life in chat. It's good to see you, bud. That's the only person I know personally that has failed forward phenomenally. He went from like a 300-400 sub channel, and somebody gave him a 4,000 sub channel. Was just like, here, go play with that, dude. Come on, man. What'd you do to Jeff? That's what I want to know. What you got on him, man? Like, you know what a body's a berry, don't you? Don't you? I know you do.
I see
I'm
this
gonna have to
cat.
call him later to find out. I'm sorry.
I'm
What?
seeing this Captain Caveman. I'm going to have to check him out.
Yeah, no. I couldn't tell you. I've been through so many channels in the past 2 months, man. And 90 some odd percent of channels don't respond to me at all. Just at all, dude. Not a no, I'm not interested, not a go screw yourself, not nothing. And I'm pretty sleuthy when it comes to stuff like that. So I don't necessarily come at them on YouTube. I'll come find them on Instagram, Discord, or somewhere else so that they have to think about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just a YouTube comment, ignore it. It's a step further from YouTube, but I don't want to creep them out and like send them a snail mail letter, although I've considered it. There's a couple of YouTubers out there Pokemon that I really want to collect. You got to get them all. Yeah, I know. Nobody likes me, man. That's how that is. Ain't nobody here watching the monkey dance. I was thinking, when I get back home, I have this one format that I set up that I never figured out what I was going to do with. I had planned on using it for like a debate type setup, but I never could get the sound to work right because I can't control both sides of the sound. If I mute you, you can unmute yourself, and you can't do that in the middle of a debate. Some people don't have that type of discretion, you know, and so I've got a way to do it, but it's way more complicated than I wanted it to be because I was going to build it and then show it to someone and let them use the format, and I never could get it to work right. But I'm pretty sure it would work great for like a storytelling creepypasta type effort because it gives you multiple channels to play with as far as visuals and audio, and so you're able to bring in like some sound effects and stuff. And get this, I was thinking about calling it Sasquatch Tales because Sasquatch don't have tails. This would be. Sorry, bud. They're the jokes, folks. They don't get no funnier.
I'm looking at some of the comments here. It's
Yup.
it's
If
just
the host
interesting.
mutes you, you can't unmute. Yeah, no, but here's the thing. The problem I had with using Restream was every time I tried to combine Restream with my OBS, I ended up with a god awful reverb echo. It wasn't just an echo of duplicated microphones. There was something about the interaction between OBS and you and Restream that wasn't lining up. I sounded like Odin all the time instead of it just had this echo in it that was no good. I don't know. No one likes Caucasian Sasquatch. Boo! Boo! That's the way we do it. What's up? What is that? Johnson County, Kansas? Cop Watch? Jones County, Kansas? Cop Watch? I think that's who it is. It's Jones County. How you doing? We got about 10 minutes to kill. What you want to do for 10 minutes, man? You got any cards?
No, actually, I don't.
Work? I
And
don't gamble. It don't matter.
not even my own office, so I don't have anything except a mouse.
A mouse. At least you got a mouse, man. You got me beat. I'm working with two phones over here.
Well, I've got
Actually,
one.
I think it's gone pretty well given the circumstances.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Consummate professional. We fake it until we realize we don't know what we're doing. I mean, until one of us screws up and tells you we don't know what we're doing.
Well, I start off telling you I don't know what I'm doing. I give it just that way. I set the expectations pretty low.
There you go. Got to learn how to do that. People expect far too much from me.
You
Like
can only
showing
go
up.
up from there.
I don't know why they keep expecting me to show up. Party tricks? Yeah, do you know any party tricks?
No.
Like 20 questions? Is it bigger than a bread box? It's smaller than a Volkswagen.
Tell you what, just last night I went to one of our local bars. They were doing they were watching Discovery Channel, Moonshiners, Master Distillers.
Oh,
One of the customers in my store who was in here that came in quite often. He's actually a really nice guy. He was actually on that show last night, and he took second place. And it was nice I went to the watch party, and that was a lot of fun. Just
oh, that's
hanging out
cool.
with those folks.
That's super cool.
Yeah, I have quite a few of my past customers were on and about that show. It's pretty nice. It gave me a different perspective, and it's nice to meet the folks that personally instead of just seeing them on the TV.
Oh, yeah, that's super cool. I don't think I've ever actually met anyone that cool.
Oh, I met a bunch of them. I wish I could be that cool.
I might have figured out how to do this, man. We're going to try, see if we can make this work. Now, that don't necessarily mean anybody will actually show up and talk to us. We might be just, ostracized in our own corner of the universe. But maybe, oh, this is going to work. Think it'll work. Do it both ways. Yeah, looks promising. Let's see. Let me back in there. We're here. Do this thing. No, do it right. I'm sorry, I got to talk my way through this, or I'll lose track of where I'm at.
Well, that's fine.
Skadoosh. Replace the pinned message. And the StreamYard link should be pinned to the top. If you want to come ask us questions, him questions, or just, be annoying with the chat. However, I am going to do one thing. If I can figure out how. And from pretty much this point, if you need to go at any point in time, or whatever comes up, you're pretty much finished. I'm gonna have to do some editing with it. I would rather get you back in at a later point and try to do this right, because This is horrible. It's really bad.
I've actually enjoyed it.
No, I'm not saying I didn't have any fun. I'm just saying it's not a proper show. I feel like I shortchanged you, and I don't feel right about it.
Hey, I'm happy with it. This is actually the first one,
Okay.
well, the second one, but it's the first one I've ever done that people are actually going to see.
Well, you had a good 25, 30 folks through here so far, and a couple of people that I didn't recognize. Hello, Andrew. Welcome to the show, bud. Can't remember the dude. It's not going to let me go all the way back. It refreshes too quickly for me to scroll back far enough. Maybe it'll let me do it with my phone. Nope. So what do you do to just blow off steam? You go fishing, you go hunting. What it is?
I go run the chainsaw, go bust some brush down with the tractor. That's always a good time. Just take your tractor and ram it into brush and tear stuff
I
up.
once quit a job as a carpenter to drive a bush hog for 7 to 8 hours a day because I was sick and tired of sawdust.
Yep. Anyway, I got so many irons in the fire that usually it's just bouncing from one thing to another.
So do you do any type of like blacksmithery, horsery, horseshoeing, any of that type of stuff?
No, I do. I had an old guy when I lived up in Michigan teach me how to do some basic blacksmithing, so I know how to do enough of that to get by with what I can. I can make what I need to make. If
Right.
I can,
I can pretty much beat it in the shape I need it. Yeah.
Yeah, if I can think it, I can make it. The rest of the stuff is just, I taught myself welding. I taught myself how to, for cutting, using the cutting torch. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Just
Yeah, I mean, most of it's just a matter of getting in there and getting your hands dirty on it.
It's either going to work or it's going to kill you, one of the two. I mean, just take
or take a few fingers with it, something like that.
Yeah.
If you lose a finger or two, nobody will blame you for not doing it no more.
Yeah.
Be careful, follow the manual until you don't. What you don't need to do is like after you lose a finger, go back and find the manual and read it because that's just annoying.
I don't know. When I put that sawmill together, which is coming up soon, I do believe I'm going to spend some time with the manual just to make sure I don't.
Oh yes, sir. That's something that bathroom reading. That's what you're talking about. You're gonna get that well in your head. You're right. I wouldn't do it neither, man. Mm-mm. Is it one of those mobile jobs where you hook it up on a trailer and drive off with it?
It could be. It's actually just the part without the trailer.
Okay. All right. I had a guy come in a neighbor's house and he had felled about a dozen pine trees and he wet cut, I don't know how many feet of lumber out of it. 2 porches and a barn.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can
Little
do.
shed called the barn. Anyway. But I'm in Georgia, so like all that stuff was growing fur by the end of the year. It had moss and shit growing on it, slime molds crawling out of it. And the wood don't last long here, man. It ain't a great building material unless you keep it dry here.
Yeah, most of what I got to work with is oak and maple and walnut, so it lasts a little longer.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. Do you know how to do burls? How to make them?
I know how to cut them off and look at it. That's about it.
Yeah, okay. I got you. There's a technique that's been practiced up north called burling on, I think it's aspens. And what they do is they come in with like a hatchet and they notch out a little notch at the bottom and then paint it with some kind of goobery stuff and it makes it burl.
Really?
It forces a burl right at the ground, right where it's supposed to be. If you think you got this and it's something that interests you, even if you failed that first time, you could always rework it in a bit as a project and utilize your skill at it. Oh yeah, hey Jock, welcome to the show, babe. Yeah, no, pretty much every event in your life that you start out at very first, you will be faking it because you don't know how to do it. You have to pretend that you know enough to not die, and then you have to prove it. And then you learn enough to not die while you're not dying. And that's called on the job training.
Yeah, that pretty well covers
And if you survive long enough, you too could be forklift certified.
it.
That's pretty much it, ain't it? I mean,
Oh yeah, it
don't
is.
kill nobody and don't die yourself.
Yeah, you wake up one morning and decide, well, it's got to be done, and nobody else is going to get it done. So I guess I better get to it.
Absolutely. Well, I kind of went the other way around with it. I woke up one morning and realized that I wasn't doing nothing and that I should probably do something and I didn't know what I should do. So I decided to be a carpenter. It's just too damn sad nobody handed me a camera. Because if they'd have handed me a camera and an internet access, I'd be a nuclear frog by now. I'd be a nuclear cockroach. You couldn't kill me if you tried. I'm metastasized in everybody's channel like a cancer. I'm playing with all my cords. I'm sorry. I'll stop. Um, okay, so that's pretty much your show, bud. That's 57 minutes. You pulled it off. You got anything you want to tell everybody? Like, do you have any future events of any type? You don't seem like the future event type. Like, yeah,
The,
mud bogs you're going to? I mean, I don't know what to ask at this point.
no mud bogs.
Cow tipping?
Those damn things don't flip over as easy as you think they do.
No, man, you got to put some stanky into it, but they'll go over. You just got to get it.
Yeah, the problem is they also get back up, and then you got a
Oh,
problem.
yes, sir, and they have friends. Put them up, put them up.
No, I got a little slow period in my channel right now where I'm trying to get the new job settled in, and then I'll be
Yeah,
able
man,
to
do
get
that thing.
back at it. So that's it. More chickens,
Oh, wow.
knocking stuff over, more cutting stuff up, and a little bit of building here and there. That's about it.
Hey, Smoking, show me your broken camera. All right, that's good enough. I can't see shit. That's perfect.
Welcome to the noob zone, population me. Fuck around and find out, lose a couple teeth.